Hi everyone, my name's Taylor Wheatman. I work in the cybersecurity team here at Combank, and today we're talking about shopping safely online. Before we kick off, this is a general information session for education purposes. You'll need to determine whether it's suitable for your individual needs and consider completing your own research before you invest in any purchase or product. So why would we want to talk about shopping safely online? Well, Australia is in its e-commerce era. Last year, 82% of Australian households made an online purchase. That's over 1.5% higher than the previous year. And households aren't holding back with spend. Cybercriminals want a piece of this, and they're targeting individuals who shop online, looking for open doors, setting up fake websites to steal your information, or misdirect some of your spend into their pockets, leaving consumers empty-handed except for a bill and compromised details. Australia Post's 2023 e-commerce industry report tells us November's the biggest time for spending, so let's chat about how to keep your money and your information secure. First up, some of the common traps you might see from cybercriminals who went online shopping. So you might see fake shopping websites. These are scam websites with deals that are too good to be true. When orders are placed on these sites, you might be overcharged or the item simply never arrives. Malicious adverts are ads that appear via email or social media and use low prices or limited offers to get you to click through to their scam website, where they might load malicious software or malware onto your device and steal your personal information. Marketplace scams are on the rise too. Now, these are scams that occur on online classifieds or social media marketplaces with low prices for in-demand items. Typically, the sellers behind these will request a deposit before seeing the item and then disappear. Subscription scams are usually cosmetics or makeup products advertised as free samples or trials with a small shipping fee. However, the product never arrives and you find yourself overcharged for a postage or signed up for an expensive monthly subscription. Staying aware of these traps will help you safeguard your money and information online. So let's take a look at a case study. This is Jessie. They're a 30-something-year-old admin worker who ended up losing $166 to an online shopping scam. As we go through this example, many of you might be able to think about a time where you've been in a similar situation. I should say this is a true story, but we've changed some details and images to protect our customer's identity. So Jessie found an ad on social media for a nutritional supplement endorsed by an Australian celebrity. The product was advertised for $29.99, and when Jessie clicked the link, the website prompted card details before confirming the final price. Now, Jessie was a bit wary of this but decided to proceed. Once the transaction was processed, Jessie received an SMS from Combank asking if she'd made a payment of $166.43 to a company whose name she did not recognise. She'd been involved in a scam that advertised a product for one price and yet charged her a much higher one. So let's check out 5 key actions from the Australian Cybersecurity Centre that can help you and people like Jessie shop more safely online. For the next few minutes, we'll focus on securing your device, protecting your payment information, using trusted sellers and secure payment methods, and always staying alert to scams. So first up, before you get started, you need to make sure you are set up correctly. We'll call this securing your device. Whatever device you use, whether it's your phone or your computer, make sure it's updated. Software updates are there so companies who make the software that your devices are running on can repair, or patch as we call it, known vulnerabilities in the code. Using software that hasn't been updated is like leaving the door open for intruders to walk on in. Next up, make sure your device has good antivirus software installed. This is going to add a layer of protection should you accidentally run into viruses or other malicious software through dodgy websites or links. And finally, importantly, use a secure connection. This means a trusted Wi-Fi or your cellular 4G or 5G. Using public Wi-Fi connections at shopping centres, airports, hotels or any other public place can lead to your data being intercepted by criminals. So, best to steer clear, especially if you're entering any financial details. Next up, we want to protect your payment information. So many different retailers will offer you the option to save your card details or log you into a payment method automatically. Approach with caution and keep track of where your financial details are saved, because in case an online account is breached or if someone gets hold of your device, we don't want to give our card numbers away too. To add an extra speed bump to criminals trying to break into your account, switch on multi-factor authentication for every account you can. MFA means to log into an account, you enter something you know, like a password or a PIN, along something you have or something you are, say a text message code or a facial recognition scan. Even if a cybercriminal gains access to your username and password, MFA can break the attack chain because the attacker will need additional factors to access your account. So, for every account you can, opt into multi-factor authentication. And finally, look to use secure websites. Make sure the website displays a little padlock next to its URL because it means that website encrypts your data when it sends it through the internet, which is more secure than just sending it in plain text that can be read by anyone. However you get there are a few decisions that go into choosing a trusted seller. Ask yourself, does this store have reviews elsewhere on the web? The scam websites themselves can have rave testimonials, but you can't trust them. You need to go elsewhere on the web. You can often find reputable third-party websites that provide reviews on the reliability of shopping websites, or if you're on social media, there are some dedicated groups which share knowledge around known scam sellers and sites. Stick with retailers of repute. This might mean going with a trusted name or choosing a retailer you've heard of over one you haven't. Additionally, if you're trying to choose whether to go with a local retailer or an overseas retailer, remember that the local online stores have the benefit of Australian consumer protections, and they can be quicker to deliver. Overseas stores can sometimes have a better range or better pricing, but it could take longer to deliver and it's more risky if something goes wrong. But just be careful. Just because something has a .com.au website address does not mean it's based in Australia. Now with all these stores though, it's important you're on the right website. To do this, always navigate to the website yourself and avoid clicking on ads. Cybercriminals want to make it really easy for you to click on their traps, so they'll advertise fake websites or imitate other brands. These ads will appear at the top of your search engine queue or maybe embedded in other websites or advertised in social media. So to avoid these scam websites, it's best to navigate to the true website using a search engine instead of clicking on an ad. So trusted sellers are websites that will accept your money in a secure way, send you your expected goods in the expected condition. Let's have a look at some of the signs you might notice on a fake web store. Remember, not all fake stores will have all of these issues. These are just a few of the red flags to spot. First up, check the web address. Does it have a padlock? The padlock means that no one can read your sensitive data as it's sent across the internet. Some scam websites do have it, some don't, but never enter data into a website without one. Does it have a weird name or web address, so something like barbecuesaustralia.com.au is less likely to be a scam than barbecuesrus.sydney or barbecuesoz.online? And ask yourself, is the deal too good to be true? Because most scam websites will have a really good deal, significantly cheaper than other websites or in store. There'll often be a pressure to act quickly. Cybercriminals play on our emotions and will try and create a sense of urgency. If you feel rushed to close the purchase, red flag. That's a good time to stop and check the website and reject the sale if you need to. Many scam websites request payment via untraceable payment methods such as gift cards, store cards, prepaid credit cards, Western Union, or bank transfers. There might even be a discount to pay these ways. Some other things to look out for include a lack of reviews on other websites. They're unlikely to have any other reviews on websites because they haven't been around that long. Missing details. So these websites might be missing contact details, a physical address, terms and conditions or privacy statements. Or they've just been copied from unrelated websites, and if you read them, they make no sense. Sometimes there'll be grammatical errors or spelling mistakes. Or if they're claiming to be Australian, look for an Australian business number to verify. There's no single way of spotting that a website is completely safe, but trust your gut, and if it doesn't feel right, it's best to go with another site. Now, these days there are lots of ways to pay, but not all of them are equal, with some being used more commonly by scammers. Knowing which payment methods will allow you to easily get your money back if something goes wrong is important. Credit cards and other payment services can allow you to request a chargeback. Chargeback is where you can dispute a transaction if something goes wrong and request your money back. Usually we only do this after you've tried to get the refund from the merchant directly and were unsuccessful. It can be really great if the product never arrives or if it turns out to be a scam. If you do use some third-party payment service, protect your accounts with unique passphrases and always switch on multi-factor authentication. Generally speaking, credit cards have additional protections over bank transfers. If you go with another method, always make sure you know the drawbacks and terms and conditions. Beware vendors who request unconventional payment methods. If you're ever requested to pay by wire transfer, cryptocurrency, gift card, these methods are very likely to indicate cybercriminal activity, so if you see these requests, protect yourself by steering clear. Some websites also allow you to make a payment via a bank transfer or check. You should be cautious of using this method unless it's a retailer you trust. Not only is this slower, but it's a lot harder to trace and get your money back if something should go wrong. But of course, online shopping doesn't always go to plan, so what if something does go wrong? In Australia, you're protected under Australian consumer law, so here are a few things that you can do. You can contact the website or the seller directly. It's always the best option to reach out to the retailer directly to see if they can fix the issue straight away. If you paid by credit card or debit MasterCard, then contact your bank or other card provider within 30 days of receiving your statement and ask to dispute the charge. Chargeback rights don't apply to be-paid payments, bank transfers, direct debit or checks. However, we'll do our best to try and recover the payment. Finally, contact the ACCC. Your consumer rights still apply, and if you can seek remedy through the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. Just remember, Australian consumer law doesn't apply when buying from a private seller and is less likely to apply from when buying overseas. Now, shopping scams remain one of the top reported crime types to the Australian Cybersecurity Centre, so how do we stay alert? Even if you're expecting a delivery, track it using the certified website. Scammers send plenty of fake delivery notifications via SMS. If you receive one, take a breath and don't click the link. Instead, verify using the site you ordered from or the post company bringing your parcel. If a buyer ever asks you to pay money to release a payment, if a seller ever asks you to send a deposit to secure a product, or if any payment is requested in an unusual way, stop and check. If it feels dodgy, it probably is. Remember, like we spoke about in the beginning of this session, marketplace scams often ask for deposits before you receive the item, and subscription scams might even have you pay a shopping fee for something that never arrives. Finally, verify your communication channels, so make sure you speak to the right representatives and not scammers. Only use phone numbers listed on authentic websites. Cybercriminals will try and trick you into communicating with them, and a good way to avoid this is by not clicking on links in emails or text messages, especially any mail or text that asks for bank details or requests for payment if you do encounter any of these. Report suspected scams to the ACCC's Scamwatch. To keep our circular economy going, some choose to purchase products through marketplaces or classified advertisement platforms. These can be a great place to find a bargain, but there's also fewer protections if things go wrong. The signs that this is a scam advert are often very similar to the signs we look for scam websites. Let's take a look at this scam example. This ad creates a sense of urgency with the last one in big red circle. The deal seems too good to be true. Usually this type of barbecue that's advertised sells for at least $600, not $49. The seller claims to be unavailable, so they're either overseas or they're interstate. If you're paying a marketplace seller via bank transfer or Pay ID, Combank's name check will allow you to double check the account holder that the account holder name matches the seller's name. So if there's a mismatch, reconsider going through with the sale. The seller requests payment through money order, check, or a direct bank transfer before delivery, or if the seller requests a deposit before viewing the item. Probably the best piece of advice that we have is the old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is. If something doesn't feel right, it's safest to walk away and trust your gut. So, if you're not sure if it's safe, first up, stop. Be skeptical of retailers with unusual web addresses or when following a link from social media or an ad. Put your guard up when a seller claims to be overseas or if there's been some kind of complication with a deal. Check. So look out for the red flags when shopping online and using marketplaces. Search for reviews of the online store elsewhere on the web or only use trusted marketplaces with ratings. And reject. Is it too good to be true? Use a debit card or a credit card where possible, and avoid paying deposits or sending money via unusual payment methods like gift cards or money transfers. And always, if in doubt, walk away. If you do suspect you've fallen victim to a scam or fraud, contact your bank immediately, come into a branch if safe to do so, call 13 22 21 or visit combank.com.au/secure. Report it to the police via the ACSC report function at cyber.gov.au/report and recover. This report will be shared with the police. If you've lost any physical property, like your laptop's been stolen, report the matter to your local area state police too. Finally, if you think that your identity has been compromised, you should contact idcare.org for support and report it to scamwatch.gov.au. This is a government-run website that not only tracks scams, but also has lots of useful information about the latest scams and how to avoid them. So let's look at some ways we can help you stay safe online. The Combank app is there to help you stay on top of your finances easily. So let's check out the features that will help you shop safely online. First up, check your transactions. Do this regularly so you can spot any fraud early. Combank's app has a notifications feature, so switch these on and you'll be updated anytime a transaction happens. If you aren't travelling overseas or ordering from international vendors, consider locking your card to international payments to stop international fraud. You can unlock it anytime in the app if you need. And finally, if you do notice something strange or you can't find your card, even if you've just misplaced it nearby, block your card in the app. If you opt for a permanent block, we'll replace your card. So, if you're interested in securing your online shopping this year, you'll find more guides at the Australian Cybersecurity Centre's hub at cyber.gov.au. To stay alert with Combank security support, you can head to our security page at combank.com.au/support/security. And here you'll find updates on the latest scams, more podcasts, webinars, and resources, as well as detailed pages on protecting your individual or business accounts.